welcome to Shadow Gaming. Today I wanted to just do a build. It's a meta build basically, and it's probably one of the best DPS shredding builds out there. It's not completely min-maxed as much as I want it to be, but I had a subscriber that wanted me to show the build, the mods, everything that I'm using, so here we go. Alright, so starting off, my build is 14 reds, offensive, 4 defensive blues, and 1 utility. I'd like that to be at 2, maybe that at 13. I'm not sure. Actually, never mind. 14 and 4 is good. I wish I had a little bit more, but 192.2k armor with 148.8k health. That's going to leave some pretty good room, especially for the talents that are going to help on that. And with the skill power, basically my striker drone, or if you want to run a reviver hive, I never really do. And then the Mender Seeker Mine from the Survivalist Specialist. So using the Survivalist Specialist, I use it, and it also procs another talent on my build. So let's start with the weapons. We have the FAMAS 2010 replica, which you can craft in the base of operations. I have 17,000 base damage, and if you go down here you can do show base damage on, so 12,037 plus another 4,935. It has strained on it, so that's plus 5 critical hit damage is gained for every 10% of your armor that is depleted. So you're constantly healing yourself, even if you're down to absolutely no health. You just kill one red, or even start killing one red, and your health bar is pretty much going to be full by the end of it. I choose to go with extra with the 20% magazine capacity, just so that I can have 61 bullets. And then overlap, while holstered, gain 5% weapon handling, which obviously I couldn't change. If I can find one with strained and extra with the base damage similar, the same or more, then I would change it. The mods I have it on it are the long optics rail, that's 5% critical hit chance, and then the underbarrel rail is 5% critical hit chance, and then damage to elites on the muzzle slot, and then the plus 20 rounds from the 5.56 magazine slot. Now, I don't cover it with damage to elites because you don't run into elites a lot and challenging. They're, you know, here and there, but they're not everywhere. Even on heroic, they're not everywhere. But on heroic, I might change one of these to damage to elites, the 8% right here. Let's see. I would change it to the damage to elites scope that has 8%, the EXP-S3 hollow sight for heroic. Otherwise, I'm just trying to gain as much crit hit chance as possible from that weapon. So I have 50.5 critical hit chance, but I have 67% critical hit damage. So it's almost half and half, but I have more critical hit damage, which is more important. Alright, second weapon, everyone knows this, the Merciless. It's a good weapon from the start. You know, you have 35.6k damage, at least on mine, with 14 red slots, offensive slots. And the base damage is 25,780 plus that 9,795. That comes from the 15% extra rifle damage on the Survivalist Specialist tree. And everyone knows this one, binary trigger, so the weapon is equipped with a binary trigger that fires on trigger, pull, and release. And then guerrilla warfare, this is the one we all want. Each primer detonated gains 100% damage per primer detonated. Only one enemy can have primers, and at most 5 primers can be embedded. If you use this correctly, you can make it to where you can embed them with 5, and then boom, they blow up and cause massive 300k damage. And then of course, brutality. This is what we're going for. While holstered, landing a shot has a 5% chance to deal 100% damage as explosive damage. Alright, so this is what we're going for with the FAMAS. Each bullet, it's way more than 5% chance. I mean, but it's 5% chance per bullet. But either way, if you fire this weapon, out of those 61 rounds, for sure, one of them is going to be an explosive damage bullet. A lot of them are, a good amount of them. Enough to where it's shreds really, really hard. And you'll see in the gameplay footage afterwards why. And if you watch my hunters video, I had a hunter spawn, and I took him out within about 3 seconds, I think. Just boom, done. Alright, coming up with gear, we got Punch Drunk, Douglas and Harding. So we got accuracy, 5%, 10% critical hit damage, and 7% critical hit chance. So we're trying to raise that critical hit damage and chance. Now this is a lower roll for the 43% damage to elites. I want it at 55. I have that on my second character, but not on this one yet. And then health on kill, I wish I can get that higher, but I would prefer this just to be health. Plain and simple health. That would bring me back up to probably 180 health. 180,000 health. This one is perfect concussion, so you get 20% headshot damage for 2 seconds, 5 seconds with marksman rifles, but we're not going to be using marksman rifles, so it's just every 2 seconds, or for 2 seconds. But if you're just consistently, laying bullets on their head, you're always going to have this plus 20 headshot damage. Moving on to the chest piece, I got another Douglas and Harding with weapon damage, more critical hit damage, and chance, with most importantly Berserk, 8% weapon damage for every 20% of max armor depleted. So this is going to be a big one. I think that it's way, way, way more good than, I think it was Unstoppable Force. And then for the offensive mod slot, I have 0.5 weapon damage, but I also have 4% critical hit damage and 3.5% critical hit chance. Once again, going for the critical hit damage and chance. Over here, I have the Jackrabbit holster for Gilligard. I recommend this for pretty much everybody running pretty much anything. I got 16% critical hit damage on here with 31,000 health, and it always comes with those 2 offensive mod slots. So I got the 1.5% weapon damage, 2% optimal range, and 3.5% critical hit chance. And then the 1.5 weapon damage with the assault rifle and SMG damage at 3%. And of course I can get all this higher, but anyway, to the knee pads, I have Douglas and Harding, the third final piece, I believe. Tay protective pads. And they just have 7.5% critical hit chance, but they have composure. While in cover, it gives you 10% total weapon damage. And you need 11 firearms offensive to get this. But this is really important, especially for survivalists while you're sitting there going cover to cover, gaining 5 ammo every, I think, 2 meters that you cross. So this is important to have in this build. I mean, you could go without it, and it still shreds, but this is for sure. You get to a boss or a, chunga, boom, just hit the cover, and you're going to be dealing tons of damage, especially with the backpack China Light Industries, the KM9 with Spark, because you're going to be taking Spark, and you're going to be getting it a lot when you fire this weapon because of the talent Brutality. While holstered, landing a shot has a 5% chance to deal 100% damage as explosive damage. And then once the explosive damage goes off, boom, now you have plus 15% weapon damage. You're in cover, so that's another 10%. So we got 25% weapon damage right there, just from shooting your gun at an enemy in cover. And then right here, we got 21,000 health on the Circle of Concern. I would like to change this because I don't use an SMG in this build, but I'm still working on it. I got rifle damage and assault rifle damage. They're lower rolls than I would like, but they help out because I use an assault rifle and a rifle. But most importantly, it has clutch. Critical hits restore 20% missing health and repair 1% missing armor. So it requires 4 or less, and it requires an LMG, SMG, or assault rifle drawn. You can't use marksman rifles or rifles. This doesn't work with the Merciless. And I missed this part. Vital, I got an extra 25% health. You're going to want more health than armor, I believe, on this. And then for the utility mod slot, just as much skill power as I can get with as much explosive damage as I can get, and outgoing healing from my Mender Seeker. And that pretty much covers it. We got the pistol, which has lucky shot and mostly stop, drop, and roll. So while equipped, rolling removes burning, bleed, and poison status effects, and can occur once every 60 seconds. I recommend this be on one of any of your weapons. Usually I keep it on my pistol. If I'm not running that, I would run the Survivalist D50 just for transmission, or another one with transmission, but I tend to use this a lot more. Otherwise, that's the build, and I will show you the gameplay footage here right after this. I just wanted to show you one last thing. That is my 2 skills and grenade. So sometimes most of the time I use the concussion grenade or the incendiary grenade. I use a striker drone, and the reason why I use a striker drone is because it helps me pulse and like target enemies. And by pulse I mean just, you know, outlier them, like pulse them. It shows me where people are, where the NPCs are, and then of course it's just whatever I can put on it. It really doesn't matter. I have such low skill power, but it does enough to where it can distract enemies and point out enemies for me. And then for this one, I just use all the mods, the 50% healing, the Seeker skill power 303. Okay, I did add that with... Oh, that does come with this. Oh no, it doesn't. So this is one of my own, but I don't know. I would find something like this, something that just gives it more skill power or extra healing if you can afford the skill power points. And then of course the 80% skill haste, the other one from the specialization survivalist. And that's about it for the build. So we got the FAMAS 2010 replica with Merciless secondary and a tactical M1911 pistol. We got the Douglas & Harding mask. We got the Douglas & Harding vest, the Jackrabbit Gila holster, China Light Industries with Spark. And you can also get Perfect Spark, by the way, with China Light Industries. I have it on another build, but on that one I don't have Perfect Concussion, so I'm still messing around with it. And we have Clutch, so you're always healing. As long as you are dealing damage, you are healing 20% of your health and 1% of your armor. And especially if you're doing critical hits. That's why the crit hit chance and the crit hit damage is big. And then of course the composure and all that. And then over at my stats, I've got all these for my talents, weapon talents. And then I do 16,972 weapon damage and 11,668 in PvP with 50.5% critical hit chance and 67% critical hit damage with 55% headshot damage. This right here is going to be good. I will show you in the gameplay after this. It's going to be good. It'll shred through everything. Just always remember, if you need to pull back, you need to pull back. With 23% assault rifle percent damage bonus, all weapons damage bonus 18%. The SMG I have 28%, but I'm not running an SMG or a shotgun or marksman rifle or pistol. I am running a rifle which has 20%. Health damage is 29%. Damage to elites is 48. I'd like that higher, but really, you just shred through elites without it, with the with all the other talents. And these are the main ones: Composure, Clutch, Perfect Concussion, Berserk, Vital, Spark. Like the Spark, the Berserk, the Perfect Concussion, Clutch, and Composure, These all are deadly, deadly, deadly talents. And this one, of course, helps you. Alright guys, that's my build. I just call it the DPS Shredder build, or the FAMAS Merciless build. It's pretty much a meta, I'm sure, but I don't know. I had a subscriber ask me what mods I use on my weapons and gear and how my build looks. This is what it looks like. If there's anything I missed, just mention it in the comment section below. And honestly, this video has gone on too long. It's over 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a gameplay footage video from this build, and I'll put the link in the description below and possibly the pinned comment as well. Thanks for watching Shadow Gaming. See you later, agents.